Imagine standing before an entire empire, and confessing your love for the one woman you're forbidden to choose. This is the moment a soldier shocked a throne, and changed the fate of a queen. Whose? This is the moment a soldier shocked a throne, and changed the fate of a queen. The grand recognition ceremony at the Luminary Royal Palace was exactly the kind of formal occasion Lieutenant Commander David Mitchell usually dreaded, but today, he was the guest of honor. Queen Saras Vala, ruler of the Luminary Empire for 15 years, sat upon her throne in full ceremonial regalia. Her long, elegant ears were adorned with royal markers, her bioluminescent patterns glowing in the precise formation reserved for formal rites. She was known throughout the empire for political brilliance, unwavering dedication to her people, and complete emotional detachment from personal matters. The ceremony honored David for resolving the border conflict through unconventional diplomacy that saved millions of lives. As a reward, the Luminary Council granted him the ancient right of royal choice, the right to request any reasonable gift from the crown. Queen Saras spoke the ritual words, "Lieutenant Commander David Mitchell, by ancient right and current gratitude, you may request wealth, lands, titles, position, or, should your heart incline toward personal matters, any woman of marriageable status within our court, if she consents. What do you choose?" It was an extraordinary offer. Several noblewomen stood present. Luminari rarely intermarried with other species. But David had spent 3 years on Era Prime. He'd learned their customs, earned their respect, and fallen hopelessly in love with the one woman who should have been beyond his reach, Queen Saras herself. He had watched her navigate impossible situations, carry burdens no one else could bear, and make decisions that wounded her yet protected her people. He had glimpsed rare moments when her controlled mask slipped that he knew what he was about to do was madness. But the ceremony offered him a chance he would never get again. David met the Queen's eyes, a breach of protocol, and said clearly for all to hear, "Your Majesty, my choice is simple. I want you." The court erupted in shock, gasps, whispers, outrage. The Queen was never an option. She was sacred, untouchable, but David did not break eye contact. Queen Saras, known for unshakable composure, froze. Her bioluminescent markings flickered in patterns no one had ever seen, shock, confusion, and something like hope. Silence stretched. "This is not appropriate," she finally said. "The choice applies to the eligible women of the court. I am not, I cannot be, I am the Queen." David replied, steady, with respect, "Your Majesty, you said any woman of marriageable status within your court, should she consent. You are unmarried. You are the center of this court. I ask only for your consent. If you refuse, I accept that, but I cannot lie about what I truly want." The murmurs intensified. Advisors moved toward the throne, but she waved them away, irritated, not with David, but with the interference. "You would choose me," she said. "Not wealth, not titles, not one of the noblewomen, but the most politically impossible option." "Why?" David's answer was simple and devastating, "Because I've watched you carry an empire alone. Because I've seen your grace under impossible pressure. Because I've witnessed the moments when the cost of leadership reaches you, even if no one else sees it. Because somewhere along the way, I fell in love with you. Not the Queen, you. The woman who hides exhaustion behind duty." Her markings shifted into a pattern the court had never witnessed, walls cracking, emotion breaking through. "You are either the bravest human I've ever met," she whispered, "or the most foolish." "Probably both," he said. "But I learned from you that the important things require bold choices." Then, in an act without precedent, Queen Saras rose from her throne and approached him. "If I were to consent, and I am not saying I will, do you understand the scrutiny? The pressure? Your life would become political theater." "Yes," David said. "And I choose you anyway." She gave no answer that day. She dismissed the ceremony and vanished behind palace walls. For 3 days, David heard nothing. On the third evening, she summoned him, not to the throne room, but to her private study. A personal space. She wore simple clothing. Her markings glowed softly. She looked younger. Human, almost. This is not a formal audience, she said. Just two people speaking. Can you manage that? He sat. She paced. Do you understand what you've done? She asked. Politically, and personally. I have kept myself distant for 15 years. No friends. No family. Only duty. I survived by being perfect, untouchable. And then you stood in my throne room and said you wanted me, not the queen, but me. She confessed fears she had never spoken aloud. Walls she had built. Loneliness she had buried. Duty that had smothered every part of her humanity. I should refuse you, she whispered. For both our sakes. But the truth is, when you chose me, my first thought wasn't outrage. It was finally. Finally someone sees me. Not the throne. Me. And that terrifies me. David leaned forward. Then we learned together. I'm not asking for perfection. I'm offering partnership. Silence. Then, I wanted it too, she admitted. What followed shocked the empire. Queen Saras announced a formal courtship using ancient protocols the council could not deny. Reactions were mixed, romantic to scandalous, but the courtship held, through structured meetings, chaperoned outings, and public appearances, something real grew between them. Saras became more open, more human. David adapted to the surreal reality of being the queen's chosen consort. The turning point came when a rival faction accused the queen of compromised judgment. During the council hearing, she delivered a speech that became legend. You question my fitness because I love someone. But which is more dangerous, a queen who feels nothing, or a queen who remembers she is a person? David did not weaken my judgment. He strengthened it. The council affirmed her right to choose her partner. A year later, they married under luminary rites. David became king. That night, Saras told him, when you said you wanted me, you did not choose a queen. You freed one. David answered, I wanted all of you, the strength and the vulnerability. All of it. Years later, when asked for leadership advice, Queen Saras always said, rule well. Serve your people. But don't forget you're a person, too.